plant-based holistic nutritionist, a yoga teacher, a nature and wellness advocate. I'm vegan for health, for the animals, and for the planet. I'm here to share to you the benefits of a plant-based diet, how you can use it to optimize, improve your health, and also its impact to the environment. As a holistic nutritionist, I am for prevention rather than cure. I believe that we have the power to take charge and take course of our health if we really want to. We are what we eat, and we are also how we eat. Like, both play a significant role in our health overall. Mother Earth has been very generous to us in providing us with resources and really nutrient-dense food that is really good for our body. This fast-paced world, though, like, the quality of the food has greatly diminished, and the way we consume food has also changed. We are always on the go, multitasking and doing so many things at the same time, and this can actually create havoc or deteriorate our health. So now that we're in quarantine, we actually have so much time to prepare good food, nutrient-dense food, and we have the time to consume food more mindfully. So let's take this opportunity to reset and probably create new habits, eating habits, that we can carry on even after this pandemic. There's so many topics that we can talk about in terms of nutrition, but for today, let's just talk about chronic inflammation. So what is chronic inflammation, or what is inflammation? You may have heard this so many times. So what is it really? So inflammation is our body's natural protective way to deal with foreign bodies. So foreign bodies can be bacteria, viruses, or pathogens, like indigested food, especially if you have leaky gut. So these are foreign bodies that get into our bloodstream that our body is trying to get rid of. So this is when our immune system kicks in, takes over to try to get rid of this foreign body. So now that it's in the system and the immune system is trying to get rid of it, inflammation happens in the process. And if you really think about it, inflammation is actually a good thing because you're dealing with this foreign object. But the thing is, when it's consistent, when it's constant, meaning chronic, then it creates havoc to our internal system and our immune system gets really exhausted. So now that you have an idea what inflammation is, here are some tips that you can follow. There are actually so many things you can do, but I will just cover a few of them. All right? Tip number 1, avoid food allergens, meaning foods that you are allergic to or sensitive to. For me, I was actually allergic to eggs, so probably I still am allergic to eggs, but I kept consuming it because I really liked it. It was like my source of protein then, and I would actually have rashes all over when I eat eggs, but then eventually my rashes didn't go away. I didn't understand why. I didn't make the correlation that it was because I was eating eggs, even if I was allergic to it. It was only when I went to nutrition school that I understood how eating food allergens affect your immune system and your overall health. So now that I'm vegan, I actually don't eat eggs and my rashes are gone. Thank God. So what are the other common food allergens? As I mentioned, eggs, and there's also dairy. Dairy is also highly inflammatory, which I will talk about later. Others would be your seafood, sugar, and gluten. So if you know that you're actually sensitive to or allergic to these kinds of food, avoid them and take care of your immune system. So tip number 2 is add anti-inflammatory and antioxidant-rich foods into your diet. So what are these foods? There's actually so many kinds of food that you can consume to beat inflammation. One would be your dark leafy greens. So I have here kale, which is very abundant here in Vancouver in Canada, but you can also have like pechay, kangkong, spinach, your malunggay, or what we call moringa, and there are so many other leafy greens that you can consume. Others would be your cruciferous vegetables. So what are examples of this? I have here broccoli. You can also have cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and other cruciferous veg. And another would be your good fat, meaning not processed fat. And that can come as your extra virgin olive oil and your nuts and seeds. So examples would be, I have here sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds, flax seeds. Flax seeds are also rich in omega-3, so good for your brain health and overall blood circulation. I have also hemp, like I'm reusing old jars. And nuts, I have here walnuts, almonds. So nuts and seeds are good sources of fat, fiber, and also like omegas. Others would be, another good fat would be avocado, like add half of avocado every day. This is really nutritious. And other kinds of food would be your fruits, of course. And the banana, you have your apples. There are others like papaya, oranges, your lime or lemon, calamansi in the Philippines. So those fruits are anti-inflammatory and also rich in antioxidants. Other sources of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory food would be your beans and legumes, and also your tofu and tempeh. So I have here tofu and tempeh. Tempeh is actually a fermented food. It's made of soy. It's high in protein, high in fiber, and also rich for your good for your gut flora because it's fermented. And I have here black beans, chickpeas. You can make hummus out of it or just put it in your curry. And I have here actually a canned coconut because we don't have fresh coconuts, but this would go for your good fat. But anyway, like your beans and legumes are really good sources of plant protein at the same time, also rich in antioxidants. So have them in your diet. So tip number 3, avoid processed or refined foods, including refined sugar. These are really culprits to inflammation. What are the examples of these processed foods? You have your biscuits, your cookies, your packaged snack, which are rich in sugar or hydrogenated fat. You have your chips, like junk food, your ready to drink juices or canned drinks, soft drinks, and even your cereals that are high in sugar or just made out of like white flour. These are processed foods. They may seem very accessible and probably cheaper, so it's very easy to grab and you can have it as a snack. But I'd like to encourage you to think long term. Like, what are the long term effects of having these kinds of food, like always? So have them moderately so that your body is able to get rid of it, to like flush it out, and also like consume all the foods that we mentioned earlier so that to balance it out. So again, like if health is your priority, like be mindful of what you put into your body. Think like, would you rather invest on your health now and choose quality food and not to spend for medication later, or not to think that, oh, I wish I could turn back time and I wish I ate healthier so that I don't feel really crappy now. So just think long term. So whenever you're grabbing a snack and like watching Netflix or your favorite TV show, like Korean show, or YouTube, your favorite vlogger, you might be tempted to just like munch on those like chips or drink your soft drink. Probably grab a fruit or your nuts and seeds. So these are good for you, and they are as filling and very nutrient dense. My favorite breakfast is actually oats. So I have here rolled oats, which is gluten free. I soak it overnight to help with digestion, and also so it becomes creamy when I cook it the following day. And then I add my nuts and seeds and my fruits. I can have banana, apples, berries, or well, however you like it. Make it as fun as you want. It's like good source of fiber, protein, complex carbs. So it's very nutrient dense for a morning food, which like helps you to have energy throughout the day. And also for snack, I tend to go towards like a fruit and a nut butter. So if you haven't had banana with nut butter, this is almond butter. There's a very good combination. Like banana is cheap and very available, and then nut butter, like peanut butter or almond butter, it's a good source of good fat, and you like put them together, and it's very filling, and also like rich in antioxidants. And also it can have apple, as I said, like fruit. And also I'd like to suggest that you have a packed meal. A packed meal would consist of good fat, as I said, with avocado, probably with coconut oil or extra virgin coconut oil. Also, like your nuts and seeds, and have it with a complex carb. Complex carb would be like your oats, brown rice, and not this one, but quinoa. And like there's so many grains that you can pick. Try not to have like white rice all the time or white flour. Like go for the whole grains, and that is more filling and has more nutrients. And also, so you have the good fat and you have the complex carbs, then protein. So there are so many good sources of plant protein, and that is like I go for black beans, and I've said tempeh, really good, and tofu. Like if you haven't made tofu scramble, go for it. I would also like to share to you that when I started going plant-based 9 years ago, my go-to was green smoothie. I found it very accessible and very easy to consume more greens and fruits into my meal. And it's actually my meal, and it's like I can carry it anywhere. So it would just consist of my greens and fruits, and I usually would use coconut milk or like coconut juice, and that's it. And I would add whatever I want on a topping, so like chia, and it's really filling and satisfying. And since I was consuming a lot of greens, my body was craving for more greens, and eventually I became like fully vegetarian and then vegan. So if you're just starting in your plant-based journey, a green smoothie is a good start. Tip number 4, avoid dairy. So I'm not telling you this just because I'm vegan, but as a nutritionist. So dairy is highly inflammatory. As you know, it's sourced from animals, either from goat or commonly cows. And they are meant for baby goats and baby cows. So not really for humans. So they contain hormones that our bodies are not able to like break down properly. 60 to 70% of the adult population is actually lactose intolerant. So lactose is a kind of sugar found in milk, and we have this capacity to break down lactose when we're babies. We produce lactase, but as we get older, we lose that capacity to break down lactose. And if you think about it, 60 to 70% is actually a big number. And like, think of those times when you like had to go to the loo because you had dairy, because it triggered number 2. Like, think of that. And have you had like skin issues for so long, like rashes that you can never get rid of? That can be because of dairy. So there are so many negative effects of dairy into your health. And the good thing is you have so many alternatives now so that you don't have to consume dairy, which is great. So one would be your nut or plant-based milk. So you have so many options like oats, almond milk, there's hemp milk, and there's like cashew. So you can create milk from nuts. And there's also like an alternative to cheese, like vegan cheeses. And I put nutritional yeast in everything. It gives you that umami taste that you're looking for in cheese. And like I tell you, as a cheese lover, you can, yes, live without dairy cheese. So if you're trying to avoid or limit the consumption of dairy, I suggest that you try it, not having it for a few days and see how you feel, and probably try it for a week. And if you're someone who consumes it all the time, probably daily, try to substitute it with something with a nut-based milk or cheese, so that you don't feel deprived. Like, for example, if you consume coffee every day with creamer or milk, try putting coconut milk instead. So it's creamy, it's yummy, and it's from coconut. So it's really good for you. And that's what I have with my lattes actually. And they're really good. Or you can have almond milk or soy milk, which is also good with protein, good source of protein. So try not to feel deprived, just experiment and try something and then eventually you'll find something that works for you and you will stick to it. And if you want to know more about dairy, I highly suggest that you watch this 5-minute clip in YouTube entitled "Dairy is Scary." So check the description below and the link will be there, and just watch it and see if you want to have dairy after that. Tip number 5. This may be very obvious, but I still want to talk about it. So avoid too much stimulants. And stimulants, I mean alcohol, smoking, and even caffeine. These are actually substances that spike up your cortisol, which is a stress hormone. So meaning, like, since it's a stress hormone, it actually curtails your digestive function, it triggers the immune system, and the cycle just continues. Probably it's very hard to get rid of them like altogether, like completely, but try having them in moderation. Like, if you know that you have alcohol every day, try not having them like on weekends or not having them on weekdays. And if you know that you consume coffee every day, try switching to herbal teas on some days, and like try matcha or green tea if you really need that caffeine. They're also high in antioxidants, so they are good for you as well as giving you that spike that you need for the day. Tip number 6, This is not really food related, but it is related to your digestive health and overall health. It is manage stress. So stress is not really a bad thing. We need cortisol in our body to function. What makes it bad is when it becomes constant or it becomes chronic. So meaning our cortisol level is always up. When it's up, when we're always stressed, that means digestion does not become a priority, and it uses up like your reserve nutrients to be able to continue creating cortisol. So you actually want to be able to manage it and for the body so that the body can recover. So what are the ways that we can manage stress? Here are some tips that work for me, and I hope they work for you too. One of the ways that I manage stress is deep breathing. So I know that breathing is probably very natural and something that we take for granted, but deep breathing is very powerful. It is when we take the time to be conscious of how we breathe and try to make our breaths longer and deeper. What happens is that when we do that, it brings in more oxygen into our heart, into our lungs, into our bloodstream, and into our heart. So it also helps to trigger the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our relaxation system. So it helps to calm you down, especially when you feel anxious. So try taking a pause and probably just do 5 deep breaths, like conscious breaths, and see how you feel after. It's like how you feel when you have a big sigh, right? And that's why it's called the sigh of relief. As a yoga teacher, I am an advocate of yoga, like any kind of yoga actually, like deep stretches, yin, or even vinyasa, where you're connecting movement and breath, or any kind of movement that resonates with you that you really like dancing, or probably just stretching. So any movement would help with your blood circulation. Also, like if you practice yoga, like the last part, shavasana, where you do nothing but just lie down, that is a form of meditation, and you actually feel really good after because you're not doing anything. So the body is able to recover and you're able to relax. So movement is not just for like losing weight, it's really good for your health overall, and it boosts your immune system. Also, since I'm a lover of nature, I suggest that you commune with nature. I know that it's hard right now because we're locked up, or like we're staying at home, and we're trying to be safe in our homes. But like even just opening your windows or opening your doors to bring in fresh air, like again, fresh air, breathing fresh air helps with bringing more oxygen into your bloodstream, and also like it really relaxes you. Like nature is therapeutic itself. So also if you can have more plants in your home, that would be great for more oxygen supply. And it's just relaxing having greens in your house. So be with nature when this lockdown is over. Get out, get some sunshine, and just be with Mother Nature to help with your health, and also it boosts your immune system again. And what I like to do to get quiet is either journal, meditate, or pray. And you may have other things that would help you to go inward. So do that regularly. It does not only like relax you, but it also like it helps you to be quiet and be still to get rid of the external noise. So when you're actually relaxed and when you are in that state, that's when rest and digest happens. So then your digestion is improved and your overall health is improved. Just to recap, There are so many ways that we can beat inflammation, but we talked about 6. So avoid food allergens or foods you're sensitive to. Avoid processed or refined foods and sugars. Consume antioxidant and anti-inflammatory foods. Avoid dairy. Limit stimulants, your alcohol, smoking, caffeine, and also manage stress. I totally understand that this is a challenging time and this is not a normal situation, but I highly encourage you to take advantage of this time of isolation to take care of your health and to boost your immune system. Our immune system is our greatest weapon to beating this virus and COVID. And that is to say, aside from prayers, of course. As a nature lover, I would like to emphasize the benefit or the positive effect of a plant-based diet to our planet. So a plant-based diet actually reduces greenhouse gas emissions. Also, it saves water because the dairy and the animal agriculture consume so much water. A plant-based diet also conserves the animal and plant habitat because 1/3 of arable land is used in animal agriculture. Going plant-based is actually a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. Maybe for some of you that works, but for most, like me, it took me years to actually go fully vegan. It is your conscious everyday choices that make a difference. Maybe try adding more plants into your diet or switching to plant-based alternatives and see how that feels. And the beauty now is that there are so many alternatives available, so you don't feel deprived. And for me, what worked was going back to my why. Like, why am I switching to plant-based? And initially, it was for my health because I saw the benefits of going plant-based, like how I feel, how like my rashes going away, and eventually it was because of the animals. Like, I am not for how animals are treated in the animal agriculture, and then of course for the planet. And whenever I felt that I wanted to like have some cheese or something that's not vegan, I would go back to my why. Maybe you won't go fully vegan, maybe just eat more plants, that's great. But my hope is that eventually you'll go fully plant-based and think for your health, for the animals, and for the planet. Mother Earth has shown its love for us in so many ways. It has not wavered in providing us with resources of what we need, like from food, shelter, clothing. So from the beginning, it's been there for us. So it is high time for us to give back the love that it has been providing us for so long. And going plant-based is just one of those ways. There are still other ways, but again, that is how I'm contributing, and I hope you will consider that too. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you would like to know more about nutrition and yoga, please visit my Instagram, which is BeYogaWellness, and also like check out my favorite nutritionfacts.org for more nutrition information that is science-based, which will help you like get to know more about your gut and how you can use food as medicine. Just reminding you to stay at home, to be safe, like stay healthy, eat your plants, exercise, move to boost your immune system, and be well. Thank you and be blessed.